You're on? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, uh, I'm Alexandra Levine. Welcome to Alexandra Levine Live. Uh, so, actually, no, I'm Damon Galdo. I didn't get Alexandra didn't get a transformation or anything like that because men can't be women and women can't be men. But she asked me to cover her show tonight. And she's very busy. We'll give her that. The real Alexandra could not make it tonight. She's out there working hard, juggling multiple campaigns, managing her career, and serving the America's Pulse Network's very own White House as our very own White House correspondent. So, on behalf of everyone here at the APN, I want to say thank you, Alexander, for trusting me to keep your seat warm, and it's an honor to fill in for you, the sharpest, boldest voices in conservative media. Now, buckle up. Alexandra Levine Live starts right now. And we have a special guest that I'll get to shortly, but I want to talk about the breaking news. Breaking news Trump put out on True Social. He said, I am outraged that the International Maritime Organization is voting in London this week to pass a global carbon tax. The United States will not, and he put that capital letters, not stand for this global green new scam tax on shipping and will not adhere to it in any way, shape, or form. We will not tolerate increased prices or American consumers or the creation of a green new scam bureaucracy to spend your money on their new green dreams. So stand with the United States and vote no in London tomorrow. So we have that. That's one of the breaking news right there. And we also have more breaking news. You guys can see it across the bottom. Trump warns Hamas to stop killing or we will kill you. So hopefully that happens because this is a very important time. And he could, I'm like I said on the Pulse, I'm very optimistic of what's going on. So if he has to cut Israel loose or whatever it is, then he's going to have to do it and end this war. But hopefully they adhere to it, and that's what it is. You see the gold marches, past 4,300 and Fed rate cut bets, admiral U.S. forces in Caribbean to step down. Um, so that's a lot of the breaking news tonight. So a lot of things are going on. There's always breaking news every single day. I mean, it's too hard to keep up with. But here's the breaking news that I want to bring in. Oh, that's right. This was a big one. Ex-National Security Advisor John Bolton indicted for having classified documents that he shouldn't have, and he was indicted today. This came up a while ago. They were talking about it, and he worked under Trump. And now my producer told me about this last minute, so that's great that he did. And he said he wasn't happy walking out of the courtroom. So, hey, if you have unclassified documents that you're not supposed to have, then you shouldn't have it. And I believe he used them in a book too, as well. I believe he did. This isn't Jersey Shore, so I can't be absolutely sure about it. This is ALL. So we're going to go into our first segment here, and this is No Kings, Big Money. The hidden hands behind the protests. And I'm going to bring on our special guest, Jack Brangan. It's going to come on. He's a candidate for Assembly, LD6, Camden County, New Jersey. He just got done the radio show at 92.1, and now he just rushed home and he came here, and we're all busy. But thank you, Jack.
Yeah, my pleasure, Damon. And I got to tell you, the libs just will not give up on this green new scam here.
Yeah.
They are relentless. I don't think there has been one success story anywhere in the world, where this has actually worked. And we're here in New Jersey, a very blue state, and a state that has spent 10 years trying to get energy generated by windmills off of the Jersey Shore. And after 10 years and $5 to $7 billion, there is not 1 megawatt being generated by wind offshore. The only thing it has proven to me is that it doesn't work. And I'm not sure where this came out of, what global organization this was, but they have no jurisdiction over the United States, that's for sure. And frankly, our economy is huge, and everybody else is about the size of Pennsylvania. So
Yeah.
it's not going to force us to do this. It's not going to happen.
So we'll cover some Jersey stuff in the third segment because you guys had a great show today, and I want to talk about the callers that called in, and we're going to cover what's going on around here. But for now, I want to talk about you had an experience with this too, with these protesters that are getting paid.
Right.
But I want to roll this first clip, and it's insane, these people. So let's pull up that first clip and roll it.
What makes Trump a fascist?
He does things without
You gotta talk loud. I don't have my mic on.
I'm not really good into interviews stuff like that.
Sorry?
He just does everything he wants, and not following laws, or he's a convicted felon. That's all I know.
But your sign says he's a fascist, and I'm just curious what makes him a fascist.
See, he doesn't even know what a fascist is. I mean, these are paid protesters being out there or mentally ill, which you'll see in the next clip. And it's the same thing when we're at the Tesla dealership. All those people, they were paid. We're going to put another clip up for that too, showing that. But they're either mentally ill or they are paid, because we saw that firsthand. So what was your experience at that? What was that that was back in March, right?
That's right. It was at during the attacks on the Tesla dealerships. And in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, there's a large Tesla dealership, and our local woke organization called Cooper River Indivisible conjured up probably 200 people to protest Elon and the Tesla dealership. This was at that early point where Elon and Trump were sort of in their honeymoon phase, where they were good buddies, and Elon was doing all the Doge work, and as a result of his success, there were attacks on the Tesla dealership, and so they were out there in Cherry Hill marching and jeering and so on and so forth. I had my Trump 47 flag, and I stayed away from that group. I was 2 blocks up, maybe 3 blocks up from the dealership, standing all by myself on the highway, nowhere near the demonstration. However, the demonstrators had to park their cars somewhere, and as they passed by me, I found out what an unhappy, rude, foul-mouthed people they are. They started cursing at me. They would, and this was with no words exchanged. They would give me the finger, the F-bombs. I had it twice. I had a couple people stop and approach me like they wanted to, start a fight, that sort of thing. And they would get up very aggressive and point their finger in my face. I had yet to say a word. And all I did the entire time was to try to diffuse the situation. But, without all the people, without fail, they would look at me, make a comment under their breath. And these were not young thugs. I'm older than you, Damon, and these were older people, a lot of the 60 leftover hippies, and the white liberal women and their husbands, and they're dropping F-bombs on me, right? It's very surprising. It's, the whole thing was very distasteful until this went on for about a half an hour. And
yeah, I remember because I was there. I met our producer, the other Damon, Sherrod, and when I got off, I'm sorry, when I parked and I got out, the people were getting off the bus that were there. They bussed them in, and they handed me vouchers. They handed me what to say they're fascists, and the guy asked me. I just kind of mingled in with the crowd.
They thought you were a demonstrator?
Yeah, because I just the bus came, and I just happened to walk with them, mingled in with them, and they were wearing orange safety vests, like they were in construction, but they were the ones that were running it. And they handed me the voucher. They handed me some things to say about Musk and Trump and everything else. And I'm looking at it, and then the guy says, "Well, what group, what bus are you with?" I said, "I'm not with the bus." I said, "I just parked and came here." And he's like, "Oh, no, we need that back." And I said, "No." I said, "You got a better chance of seeing God. You're not getting it back."
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, what these people are more than anything, they're frauds. They're absolute frauds. That's why the clip you just showed, the guy has no clue, and he's being fraudulent, holding that sign, and he doesn't even know what a fascist is or even why he's being there, other than the fact that he is being paid. And these are paid agitators, and in some case, when they get violent, terrorists that are trying to disrupt our society and take it down. And there's no
no,
question.
absolutely. All right. But there was the one woman out there. We played this clip on one of my Jersey Shore podcasts a while ago. I went up to interview her, and she was all about it. She said, "Yeah, I'll be interviewed." And then I let her talk, and I said, "Well, you're calling them fascists." I said, "For my listeners out there, can you just tell me what tell them what the definition of fascist is?" And she lost it. And she couldn't answer it, and she just lost it. So I know what you're doing, and to curse us out and everything else. But yeah, so that, I mean, that's what it is. And just to show you too, I'm going to play another clip. Let's roll this next clip here about paid protesters.
Online commentators were in hysterics over the footage, with this person saying they're soliciting mentally ill and mentally inept people to protest for things they know nothing about. Democrats are the bane of America. And it seems like the organisers couldn't secure the numbers they were hoping for, so they decided to bus in Islamist protesters dressed in full garb to the Washington, D.C. protest. Shockingly, there was such little interest in the protests, the organisers were forced to pay people to march.
I was one of the paid protesters at the April 5th liberal protests. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about my experience, what I had to do to get paid, and how much I got paid. So there were two kind of parts to it. The first was obviously just showing up. They gave me like a time and a place and told me to look for a girl with blue hair and a nose ring, which like I thought would be really hard because I thought like everyone was gonna look like that, but luckily she was the only one. It was really easy to find her. So yeah, that was good. I checked in. They told you that you couldn't wear anything MAGA. They also asked you not to wear red, so I just wore a black t-shirt and jeans. And yeah, I checked in, and then they said just like go on the march, and then at the end there would be like a questionnaire to answer.
So real quick, Jack, I want to ask you a question about who's behind this. There you go. That we have. That's one of the vouchers that they gave me. That is $250 for anti. This was back in March. It's to come.
Yeah.
And other paperwork said come collect your check, for $250. And so, who do you think is paying these people? I mean, I know Cooper River Indivisible, but who's funding them? Is it Soros? Is it Chinese companies? I've heard some stuff that Tulsi Gabbard talked about, that they're tracking stuff to Chinese entities that are funding it too.
I would say all of the above.
Yeah.
I think everybody's doing their part. All the anti-American entities are doing their part. Soros is one. I'm sure the Chinese are flowing money in. Yeah, this is I know the FBI is working on this. I think it's a high priority to find out where the money's coming from, and we put some of these people in jail. I think this is the only way we put an end to it, because the protesters, you can throw them in jail, but they're just the, cannon fodder. There's more of them. There's thousands of them. So that would be my guess. I think that's probably the two sources. And, it's not going to be difficult. Well, I shouldn't say that, but it would seem like since Trump has the administration. He also has the Treasury. So we know where we can use the Treasury to find out where, the origin of the checks and who's cashing them. And they should be able to trace it from the U.S. Treasury through all the banks. And there are people that do this every day. So I think this is doable. My problem is nobody ever seems to end up in jail.
Well, the thing is, I know that, but you can't throw protesters in jail, even if they're paid or not. It's a First Amendment right to do so. But the people that are funding it, and when you see where pallets of bricks show up at a riot, and so many people that are funding that, they need to find out who is making this happen. Because if I wanted to protest something, it's my right to go do it. But if I'm getting paid to go protest it, I don't know if that's covered under the First Amendment to pay somebody to do it. Because your First Amendment right is your right to talk about issues that you want changed. But if somebody pays you to do that, I wonder where that falls in line with the law of the Constitution.
Yeah, I think if your words incite someone to action, I think that's the red line. I mean, you can yell and scream all you want. I think you're protected, but once you start inciting an action, a riot type thing, or make a threat, we're going to go, instead of saying we're going to go get him, now you say I'm going to go get Damon. That's different, right?
Yeah.
It would be nice to have a constitutional lawyer on, but that's my understanding here. It's inciting a person to action there, then a draw that goes across a red line. And also, if a generic phrase becomes specific against a person, then that becomes no longer free speech. That becomes a threat. So, so when these demonstrators are facing off with these officers, I think they're well within the right until they direct some sort of action at them or physically touch them. That sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see them trying to run, ICE officers over with their car, bricks, and so again, then they go to jail right away. And I love the fact that I can't remember, it was a while ago, the Florida sheriff, he said, if you spit on us, you're going to go to jail. If you hit us, you're going to jail. If you run, you're going to be tired and go to jail. I forget that mad-libbing what he said, but it was great. He said, if you hurt us, you might die and go to jail. And go to
the anti-Israel demonstrators. I think they're all paid.
Yeah, where are they at right now? I mean, we have a peace deal. The Trump. I mean, this is huge in my lifetime. I mean, in the whole world's lifetime to broker this peace. I mean, hopefully it lasts and everyone adheres to the deal. But this is huge. Where are those anti-Israel protesters right now that were the genocide in Gaza and on the colleges? None of them were saying yes. Oh, it's great. They called for peace. The squad called for peace and stopped genocide. Not one of them said anything about this, that Trump brokered this deal. And now they're going away because, again, I think it's all propaganda and they were all paid.
They're frauds.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in the very beginning with the initial anti-Israel demonstrations on campus, I mean, early on when they very first started, right after October 7th, and the Israeli army took action, I didn't understand where this anti-Semitism of that level was coming from. Because when I was working, I traveled all over the country, and I met a lot of different people in nice restaurants and in not so nice restaurants, all over the country. I never heard any anti-Semitism, whether it was New York, Florida, California. There was no now I won't say there's zero.
Yeah.
There's never going to be zero for any group. But I never ran into it at all. And then out of nowhere, there were all these protesters at Columbia. It didn't make sense to me. I just didn't see it. And I'm not talking over a period of a couple months. I was traveling for 10 years. I never saw it anywhere. So the very first riots, what struck me was this is all fake here. These are, paid protesters. And in the end, I think that's what they were. Now, in the process, they may have garnered some of these young, numbskulls like you just had on your video clip there that didn't know what was going on or what it was about, that they would join in.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think this is a terrible thing that's going on. I really think that the woke left is maybe even a greater threat to, maybe, I don't want to say communist China, but it is a serious threat, and has to be dealt with.
It is definitely a threat, but the one good thing is if you look at how it is right now, the Republicans are winning. I mean, even if you look, they control most governors are in the states are Republican. They have the majority.
Right.
We have the majority of the House, majority of the Senate. We have the executive branch as well. But we have to keep our foot on the gas, and because the left will not stop with their 80-20 issues. They just keep doubling and tripling down. It's amazing how they do it. I don't understand why they're and we're going to get to that. We'll take a break. We'll get that in the next segment about the shutdown and everything else. So let's take a quick break and go to the next segment.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did.
So there you go, Alexandra Levine, our very own White House press correspondent for America's Pulse Network. And again, Alexandra, thank you very much for trusting me to handle your show. And I am not Alexandra. She didn't cut her hair and look as handsome as I am and become a man. But I was going to throw it in there with the hallway sex. Alexandra always says to me every time. I explained to her a long time ago. If you're married for 20 years, what hallway sex is. I said it's when you pass each other in the hallway and it's like F you. I said that's what it is. She still sticks with it. She finds it hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to go on to segment 2. It's the Schumer shutdown and the Dems, they hold America hostage again. I can't stand it that the Democrats are saying it's the Republicans. 53 Republican senators are voting to keep it open and to reopen it. And we only have 2, maybe 3 Democrats that are voting. They need 60 votes. So let's roll the first clip and then.
So have you seen the numbers on the votes?
We're announcing the results of a sweeping law enforcement effort known as Operation Summer Heat. We were in many cities that people didn't know about. Working with state and local partners, the FBI arrested over 8,000 violent criminals during the course of this period. In major cities like in New Orleans, Nashville, we saw a 250% increase in arrests. And we really went after the bad ones. These include 725 individuals wanted for violent crimes against.
And Jack, I just wanted to play that clip there because talking about the holding hostage. They're holding us hostage to government shutdown, and they won't vote to open it back up. And you were about to say how many people there was, but that's another form of holding hostage. I mean, look what the Trump administration is doing. They're cleaning everything up. You have JB back prisoner. Jesse Water calls him JB back. I love that. but won't let Trump in. I mean, they're trying to shut everything down 100% that is good for the country. I just don't get it. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I really think it's a dying party. This is sort of the death throes of this party. I don't think it's going to be in existence 5 years from now. I really don't. They're going to get voted out. I think they're going to they'll get voted out in New Jersey. Sooner or later, we will be taking over because it's common sense. People want security. They want jobs. The illegal aliens is fundamentally wrong. It's not a measure of whether they're nice people or not, but their presence here causes problems. It costs billions of dollars to keep them clothed, housed, fed, transportation, medical. It's billions of dollars. They have emptied their jails, the foreign countries, so we have imported their worst type of crime, not only against adults but crime against children. So this is unacceptable, and the amount of money that's involved. What they're fighting over is medical for illegal aliens. And it's just not going to happen. This was in one of the bills that Biden had, and basically they want Trump to, accept the Biden, promise here of providing the medical coverage for illegal aliens, and it's never going to happen because it's intrinsically wrong. The American people know it. I think ultimately, these Democrats are going to get voted out because, as you mentioned, on the 80-20, they are continually on the 20 side of every issue. And even some issue, it's 95-5, but they still hang on to that 5% because it's Trump,
It's the orange man, the bad orange man. So that's what it is. But it's just getting the message out to people because you have an election coming up, and we'll get most of that in the third segment. But getting people out to vote, getting the message out and saying, hey, listen, I don't think people are seeing this stuff that we're talking about and realize it, like how bad it is. Like, say somebody like me, my insurance premiums went skyrocketed. They're way up. I mean, my energy costs doubled. That's a New Jersey issue. We'll talk about that next segment. But my insurance, it went way up. And you know why? Because we have illegals in here. We're a sanctuary state. I mean, not just there's sanctuary cities across the country, and somebody has to pay for it. Someone has to foot the bill. I go to work every day. I mean, no, I'm going to work tonight, but I don't feel like going to on the night shift. But I got to do it, and got to do it. But it's like, why? Who are you to say I'm going to stick my hand in your pocket and take your money and pay for someone that broke the law to come into our country and give them free health? I'm going to make you pay for it. This is not. No, I have a say. You have a say. Our listeners out there, you have a say. So this is what they're doing. So, and by the way, too, I want to just remind everybody, just go on, Alexandra Levine Live, her ex, and America's Pulse Network, and like and subscribe. If you're like right now. But I just want to tell the listeners, this is what's going on. That they are putting their hand in your pocket and they're giving it to somebody else without your permission. That's why we got to get the right people voted in. So you're saying on that, Jack?
Yeah. I think the American people, they can see what's going on. From the beginning, this open border was fundamentally, intrinsically wrong, and as it developed and got worse and worse, people saw it for what it was. It was an attack on the assault on the country, and Democrats did this on purpose to hurt America.
Of course.
And this is, their old trick where once the toothpaste is out of the tube, you can't get it back in. Well, once the immigrants are in the country, getting them out of the country is twice as hard or 10 times as hard. So, and then you have, the Democratic, the blue states that are dragging their feet. They are going to lose eventually. I don't think the American people will stand for it. And, they just don't have the backing. And, even the folks in Chicago, they are, crying for order and safety in their streets, just like any other community in the country.
I'm glad you said that. Let's pull up the next clip.
They're mobilizing more than 20 federal agencies for the largest law enforcement operation targeting violent criminals in American history. And honestly, we haven't really even gotten going yet. If we didn't have to fight all of these radical left governors, we could have had Chicago taken care of, as an example.
And then actually, I would like to roll the next clip after that too, because it's going to make your point.
And LA County now passing the buck on its sanctuary policies. It's moving to make taxpayers pick up the tab and start paying rent and legal fees for illegal immigrants. How's this supposed to work? Bill Malusian live there in LA with more. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Dana. Well, the 10 million people who live here in LA County are waking up to news this morning that their tax dollars may soon be going to help illegal immigrants and their families. This after a controversial vote last night. The LA County Board of Supervisors voting 4-1 on Tuesday to approve a, quote, immigration emergency declaration in the county in response to recent ICE raids here in LA. Now, that emergency declaration will give LA County the power to provide taxpayer-funded rent relief, legal services, and other assistance to those the county says have been affected by recent ICE raids. Now, the two LA County supervisors who first introduced this declaration say immigrants in LA have been, quote, living under threat from ICE and help is needed.
We have entire families who are destitute because their fathers or mothers were taken from their workplaces and they have no way to pay their rent or put food on the table.
The county will take whatever actions we have within our authority. We need to call on our region to stand up and protect our community members.
Now, in a statement to Fox News, ICE is blasting LA County's decision to approve this declaration. They write in part, quote, the only state of emergency is the one residents of Los Angeles face after electing officials who give a middle finger to the law. Perhaps the board should supervise funds to support law-abiding fire victims who still haven't recovered instead of criminal illegal aliens seeking refuge in their sanctuary city. Now, Dana, the LA County Board of Supervisors also recently cut $25 million from the LA County District Attorney's Office. That's for this current budget year, and that was over the DA's objections about what it would do to public safety. I've been getting texts from prosecutors in that office basically saying it's remarkable the board can not find public safety money for them, but now they've suddenly apparently feel they can find money to help illegal.
Now, Jack, that is absolutely, I know it was a long clip, everybody, but that was absolutely insane what they're doing over there. So I think that goes to your point, and I'll play another clip after your response to that. That actually hammers your point even further.
Well, how long before California flips red? This can't go on forever. This is a middle finger to the working people in LA County and in California. It is unbelievable, but people do have their limits, and I think when the elections come up, the people are they're fed up, and they're gonna put an end to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're at our limit. You obviously are at your limit. You're a regular guy that's taken up run for assembly. Never. I don't think you ever ran for also maybe school board or something like that, but I don't think you ever held a seat like assembly, something like this, and you were fed up. And I'm sorry to put your age out there. You're older than me. I'll just say that. But and the hard work that you're doing, pushing this through. I mean, because you're fed up, just like we are, and that's what the American people have to step up and fight this, because it's ridiculous, it's preposterous. It's absurd on its face how they're going to just take your money out of your pocket and give it away to whoever they want.
Yeah. And I just tell myself that all these stupid rules were made by people younger than me. So, youth is not any Except you, right? So, yeah, for me, was the transgender in the school systems. I couldn't take it any more than that. I mean, I have grandkids, and fortunately, when my kids went through, there was none of that in the curriculum. But now it's different. I have grandkids, and yeah. But getting back to the illegal immigrants, they talk about the ICE raids, but you have to remember that every person that ICE is going after has a signed warrant against them for a felony by a judge. They're just not sweeping through. Additionally, that individual has a final warrant of deportation that's signed by a judge. So each one that they're going after, they have had due process. And I don't know, it seems to me if you deport the father, the entire family should go. The ones left behind now, they are destitute. It's a problem. But this is if they are destitute, then they must return with the father.
Well, Tom Homan said, if they're all legal, whatever, it doesn't matter. He said, if I get pulled over for a DUI and I have my kid in the car, they're going to separate me from my child.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's going to be. They're going to get arrested and going to separate from the child. It's the same thing. If you're illegal, doing something illegal, you're going to get separated. So why not do it the right way? They should take the generous gift of $1,000 and a free plane ride to go back to where they are. So that way they have a chance to come back legally, because they get caught and deported, they don't have a chance to come back. I mean, all the ones that are committing crimes and stuff like that, I know we're trying to hit them the hardest, but the ones that aren't committing crimes and happen to be illegal are getting caught up in the sweeps. So it's just, you got to make a decision, and I'm sorry, but we have laws on the books. Without laws, you don't have civil society, and it will never exist. It'll crumble. And that's the thing. And I'm going to play another clip to hammer one of the points home, too, about Chicago here, about Mayor Brandon Johnson. He's getting shredded out there. So if you can play this clip.
You all sit up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that, on illegals. You campaign and double down that you will not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property.
And yet he did. And now he's spending money on illegals, won't let Trump get them out. Another failed.
They're losers. They're frauds and losers. They will be out of office eventually. Especially this guy in Chicago. I think he's a psychopath. You wonder, what their calculus is, how many murders are too many until they change. And it doesn't seem to be any number. There's no ceiling, whether it's children that are murdered or whether they're adults. I don't think they care, because I think the only thing they care about is retaining power, and that's it. And if children get killed or adults get killed, that's just part of the price that has to be paid. If Trump comes in, their power is done, and that's what they're fighting for.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Schumer and his shutdown. The guy's been in since '88, and he is afraid that he's going to get primaried by some like AOC. And so he's bowing down to his far left base, even though he said multiple times, no shutdown. I'll never do it. It's stupid, because he got smoked by his far left base when he voted to keep it open last time. So now it just goes to show you how selfish he is. I mean, he's been in for so long. Serve the people. You're so worried about losing your seat that you don't care about the people, your constituents, and who you're supposed to serve. And that's what it is.
They don't. It's power. That's it.
Yeah.
I hope AOC takes over and runs for president. It'll be quite a show, and it'll be a quick election.
Yeah, I don't think she'll win, but there's always going to be a a spot in the bottom of my stomach, like they cheat or there's too many stupid people that would actually vote her in. I couldn't imagine.
Make a good gin and tonic and old fashioned. That's the important.
Yeah, for Kamala too. She'll make it for her. So
yeah.
But all right, so look, we're going to take another break, and we'll go into our next segment and talk about New Jersey and what's going on.
Okay.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Alexandra Levine Live. I am not Alexandra, obviously. I am filling in for her because she's busy doing multiple other things. But thank you, Alexandra, again, for trusting us to take over your show for the night. And everyone out there, make sure you like and subscribe, whatever you're watching it on, whether it be X, Rumble, YouTube, whatever it may be. So Jack, this one is segment 3. It's Jersey Rising, Patriots push back in 2025 election. And what I mean by Patriots push back, we're going to talk about what you guys are doing and what happened in Gloucester County as well. So I want to play this first clip to get it started.
Okay.
A New Jersey county must reprint its general election ballots after a court ruled that a design change unlawfully favored Democrats by hiding Republican candidates.
She's not from New Jersey, so I got a really simple idea. How about we elect a Jersey guy?
The dispute in Gloucester County, a key swing area trending Republican, stemmed from Democratic County Clerk James Hogan switching from the required party column format to an office block layout that grouped candidates by race. Republicans argued it undermined their Vote A column campaign after winning the top spot in a ballot drawing. A state appellate court overturned a lower court's decision Friday, ordering column-style ballots for in-person voting to comply with state law, while mail-in ballots keep the old design. The ruling comes just before early voting begins October 25th, with competitive races for governor between Jack Ciattarelli and Mikey Sherrill, state assembly seats and county control at stake in this battleground.
Now, Jack, that was Gloucester County. We'll get to your county and Camden in a second.
Right.
This clerk changed the ballots, and the Republicans, the GOP, they had to sue to change it. And the first judge ruled that it was illegal what the clerk did, because so he said that the Democrats had to pay back $26,000 to the GOP because they spent money on ads saying vote this column, but then the clerk just broke it all up. And then the mail-in ballots go out with the broken up ballot to where it's not there. So the damage is done there already. They're not going to rescind that. But the judge didn't rule that they're going to change the ballots, at the polls when they go. So they had to appeal it in the appellate court and go back to a different judge. And the judge ruled that they have to change it back to, what the law states. So that's how bad they're going to cheat. Now, in your county, we have the situation with you're running up against Lou Greenwald and his longtime running partner for 18 years, Pam Lampett, who resigned from assembly and took the county clerk's position. And as no one's accusing her of doing anything wrong. We were just looking at the law, which is NJSA 52 13D 23E7, whatever. So sorry, listeners out there, I had to write that down because I don't know all that stuff. But you can talk about it, because you're not accusing her of doing anything wrong, but it's just for the perception of the voters.
Well, first of all, the Democrats in Gloucester County knew exactly what they were doing. This was purposeful to defraud basically the voter by creating a deceptive ballot that would prevent the voters from understanding and they would count on mistakes being made, and mistakes are made even on the simplest ballots. So when they get complex and confusing, more mistakes, and their idea was more votes, even though they were mistakes, would be for the Democrats. So this was evil intent. It was dishonest intent. Now the county next door is Camden County in South Jersey.
You want to bring up the press release real quick, and as you're talking about it, so the listeners can just take a look as you're going over.
Right. This is a press release that we released to the major television stations in Philadelphia, since Camden County is near Philadelphia. We're in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, and the major news outlets in the area. And this is about two Democrats, the story of two Democrats. One, I am running against them, and Pete Sykes. The two of us running for 2 seats in South Jersey, but our opponent is named Lou Greenwald. He has been in the assembly. He's been the incumbent for 30 years. So if you think back to Bill Clinton's first administration, that's when this guy started. He's been in there for 30 years. Now, for the past 18 years, almost 20, his partner, it's a 2-seat representation for Camden County. The second seat went to Pam Lampett. And for 18 years, they have been working side by side on bills. They are work partners that they see each other every day. They have campaigned together over the 18 years. They have co-sponsored bills over the 18 years. They have gone to public events over the 18 years. This is a long time. And about 6 months ago, Pam Lampett resigned her seat and became county clerk. So what that means in New Jersey is that her name is on every single ballot that goes out. So the law says that there cannot be an appearance of conflict of interest. Well, her name is on every single ballot, and there is a conflict of interest here. If this is a close vote, the Lou Greenwald, who is on the ballot, she's not going to make any decision in her position that would hurt Lou Greenwald. So this news release that you're looking at here is a request. We made a request to Pam Lampett to recuse herself, and then since we have not heard from her, we'll take that as a no, and we released this to the news, and it's basically pointing out what I just explained. That we have a woman who oversees the counting of ballots, and on that ballot is her 18-year partner. This is a conflict of interest, a clear conflict of interest, and she needs to recuse herself. If it turns out it's a close election by 100 or 150, she can't be trusted. She can't be trusted anywhere near the count process, and nor should she be in the room, because she can influence. Just her presence, since she's the county clerk, will influence the people that are doing the county. So,
well, Jack, I wouldn't say she can't be trusted, but it's just the perception. Of her influence being
exactly.
Yeah. So that's what we're worried about. What we're worried about. I mean, and plus there was already a case that was brought up about her changing the ballots when she became the clerk too. Then that was dismissed as well.
Right.
I believe, not sure. I'm not on the Jersey SURE Sure podcast on Alexandra Levine's right now, but I think it was during the primary, and there was some kind of case about her changing the ballots, and it was dismissed. But I would just say, what the law says. It says this isn't about this isn't about partisanship. It's about preserving public trust. And that's right. What it is. If there's a perception, and this is the law, the perception of impropriety, then she should recuse herself. She doesn't have to, but she should, just so the voters feel comfortable because of their long-term relationship with Lou Greenwald, and that's what she should. do,
That's
just so everyone feels comfortable. I mean, it's just the right thing to do.
That's an excellent point. It's all about public trust. This is an extremely important election, not only for the governor's seat, but all 80 seats in the assembly are up for election throughout New Jersey. We only need to flip 13. So this, you never know, this could be one of them. But we don't want this appearance of, collusion or any wrongdoing, just the appearance of conflict of interest. She really needs to recuse herself and step aside for any ballots where Lou Greenwald is on there. So that's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
and again,
sense.
It's all about trust.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I don't see why anybody wouldn't do that just to make people feel, good. We're tired of even the reception of the 2020 election, Trump, saying they cheated and all that stuff, and I think they did. That's my opinion. But anything that's going to put the public trust, you want the public to trust government. You want them to trust what's going on. And you see what happened in Gloucester County, and they had to file lawsuits against it, and they had to do 2 of them to get what they wanted. But the damage was already done with the mail-in ballots because it cost them $26,000, the Democrats, to mislead people with the mail-in ballots, and you're not getting that back. So that's a drop in the bucket for them, to spend that money. So people want to trust the government. They want to trust the clerks. They want to trust Democrats and Republicans alike. But it's just hard for me. It's hard to trust a Democrat. I don't know if you ever saw that. It was that. I don't know if you ever saw that Tom McDonald video. He's a rapper. He said, "The devil is a Democrat."
Right.
Yeah.
No, I did. As a matter of fact, I did.
So
yeah.
It's like they have a bad look right now. Not every Republican is great either. I don't agree with all of them, but I just think we're a little bit more on the side of righteousness than the Democrats.
I think the Democrats in New Jersey are a little worried. I think for the first time in a long time, the wind is to our back. There's a general feeling of there are so many things wrong with New Jersey. I won't get into all the detail on that, but it's very expensive to live in New Jersey, and it's all about property taxes and personal income taxes, and both of them are the highest in the nation. And people are having a tough time with it. They are definitely at a point where some people are deciding to cut back on food, so that they can cover property taxes or, maybe their electric bill, something like that. And some school districts.
But if you're legal and you don't work, you'll either get stuff for free or, from the people that are paying taxes. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, we know that it costs a lot of money in New Jersey. There are close to 1 million illegal aliens in New Jersey at a cost of over $7 billion. And this is $7 billion in not only cash, but man hours that has been estimated to attend to the welfare of the illegal alien. So it's that amount of money, either in manpower or cash itself, all of which comes out of the taxpayer's pocket. So that equates to almost $3,000 per family in New Jersey. And that's $3,000 that normally would have gone to your school system that gets diverted away from your school system and into this pot of money for illegal aliens. And yet you still have to come up with that $3,000 for the school system because they need it. And this is where the taxes start going up again. So now you're paying $3,000 for the illegal aliens, and now you got to come up with another $3,000, theoretically, to make up for what was diverted away. It's a never-ending, endless cycle. It's not sustainable.
It's a snake eating its own tail, pretty much. That's what it is. And man hours. We gotta wrap up because I gotta go to work and pay my taxes so that it goes to illegal aliens and people that don't deserve it. So,
Well,
but
they're hungry. They need a nice house.
Yeah, I know. I
And-
struggle to pay my bills and my mortgage, but
They do have cell phones, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, I pay for my cell phone. They get free ones. It's all upside down. It's like a bizarre world. I guess
It is.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But before we go, we're going to talk about a couple other things on the GoFundMe. We're going to talk about the election party. But tell people where to find you and Pete Sykes.
Right. So I am running for the assembly along with Pete Sykes. There are 2 seats open in what they call Legislative District 6 here in New Jersey. We are the Republicans, and you can find us at votejackandpete.com. And you can learn everything about us. We are the MAGA Charlie Kirk candidates that are running to, fix things here in Jersey. It's a mess.
All right. And then also Alexandra is actually working with campaigns for Constance Zissel here in New Jersey, Nilsa Gonzalez, and also Tim Fazenbaker as well. I don't know if we have any pictures to throw up there. There we go. There's Zissel and Gonzalez. They're right here in New Jersey, LD5. So there's their information right there. So QR scanners there too. So that's how you can find them. They're great people as well. And then here's Tim Fazenbaker in Maryland, running for council, I believe. If I'm wrong, Tim, I'm sorry. I believe it, but Alexandra can yell at me later. I believe that's what it is. But he's a great guy. He's been on the polls multiple times. He's a good guy. So Alexandra's working on his campaign as well. And then we have a GoFundMe for Seth Eisenberg. Seth is almost a footless man. He spent more time in the hospital doing surgeries on his foot than I could even imagine. And the hospital bills are pouring up. He's one of our podcasters from Conservative Corner. He's a great guy. He's an angry guy, but he's a good guy. He's a vet as well. And and he just got another infection in his foot. I don't know what he keeps doing. He keeps stepping in shit or something. I don't know. Seth, what are you doing? But no, I'm just joking. But that's a GoFundMe for Seth. And then we have another event that we want to bring up on Election Party Day. It's going to be there. We'll play that at the end. You'll see the whole thing because it's got Alexandra Levine. She's going to be remote. This is a Jersey Shore podcast. That's going to be live Election Day at Skeeters. And, Seth is actually driving up from Maryland. Hopefully he keeps his foot so he can hit the gas pedal and the brake. Sorry, Seth, you're going to kill me. So, but yeah, so we'll roll it. There you go. You can see it there. But thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Alexandra, thank you for trusting me and Jack to come on your show. I appreciate it. And make sure we out to vote everywhere. So vote Republican, vote for